Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to shed light on one of the most revolutionary advancements in the automotive industry, electric vehicles. As we navigate towards a more sustainable future, the adoption of EVs has gained significant traction. However, like any innovation, they come with their own set of advantages and disadvantages. First, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of electric vehicles. All right, so the first pro, environmental impact. According to the International Energy Agency, EVs, excuse me one sec, EVs produce zero tailpipe emissions, which means they don't contribute to air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. By transitioning from traditional internal combustion engines to electric powertrains, we can mitigate or reduce the harmful effects of climate change and improve air quality. This will help safeguard the health of our planet and thus its inhabitants. This is pretty obvious. Of course, gas emissions could create more climate change and it could be terrible for the air because of greenhouse gas emissions. So, naturally, a switch to electric vehicles will help the environment. Number two, energy efficiency. According to the United States Department of Energy, electric motors are more energy efficient than internal combustion engines. They convert a higher percentage of the energy from the battery into power to move the vehicle, resulting in reduced energy consumption per mile or kilometer traveled. This efficiency contributes to the lower operational costs for EV owners in the long run. There are a couple other pros to electric vehicles. One of them is to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. By embracing electric vehicles, we can diminish our reliance on finite fossil fuels such as oil and gas, which are ultimately bad for the atmosphere and thus humans as its inhabitants. This not only enhances energy security, but also mitigates geopolitical tensions associated with resource extraction and distribution. Number four, technological innovation. The rapid development of EV technology is driving innovation across various sectors. From advancements in battery technology to the integration of smart features and autonomous driving capabilities, the EV industry is pushing the boundaries of what's possible in transportation, paving the way for a more connected and sustainable future. The most recent example, or the most popular one, is Tesla. Tesla was the first one to get this going, with self driving cars and a lot of other advanced features that other cars that aren't electrically powered just don't have. Now, those are the pros of electric vehicles, but there are disadvantages. One of them is the limited range and charging infrastructure. One of the primary concerns with EVs is their limited range compared to traditional gasoline vehicles. While this has improved significantly in recent years, many EVs still struggle to match the range offered by their fossil fuel counterparts. Additionally, the availability of charging infrastructure remains a challenge, particularly in rural areas or regions with limited resources and investments. Now, this goes without saying that if you live in a rural area, maybe EV may not be the best choice because charging stations are a little more spread apart, which will make it an inconvenience for you as the driver. Number two, long charging times. According to Toyota, charging an electric vehicle takes considerably longer than refueling a gasoline car. Even with fast charging stations, it can take upwards of 30 minutes to an hour to charge an EV to full capacity. Depending on the battery size and charging speed, this inconvenience can be deterrent for consumers, especially those accustomed to the convenience of quick refueling. So, if you don't want to spend a lot of time recharging your electric vehicle, then it probably isn't for you. And you should stick to gas, which is a lot faster. Number three, upfront costs. While operational costs of EVs are generally lower over time due to savings on fuel and maintenance, the upfront cost of purchasing an electric vehicle remains a barrier for many consumers. EVs often come with a higher risk, a higher, EVs often come with a higher sticker price compared to their gasoline counterparts, primarily due to the cost of battery technology. However, as production scales up and technology advances, we can expect the cost of EVs to become more competitive in the future. Now, these are just some of the pros and cons to EVs. While these pros and cons may not make or break the deal for EVs for you, it's still something to consider on whether or not maybe you can get one, afford one, or if the environmental costs are too much or too little for you to handle. In conclusion, EVs are a great choice for anyone who wants a solid car and an affordable car, but they can be cost worthy once you start to get to the higher up ones, and and they also have some cons when it comes to the environment. So, thank you for listening, and hopefully, this information can guide you on which choice between electric vehicles and other powered vehicles.